children are hilarious. I love watching them learn. It is just awesome. So this morning, baby girl Kaya busted out mama. So she somehow saved these chicken bones from our chicken wings last night. She thought they were cool and brought them upstairs and hid them. And she busted them out this morning. And she goes to her brother. She goes, "Look what I got." And pretty much displays them in front of his face. And then he's like, "Can I have one?" And she goes, "No," and then turns around and walks away. And I'm like, "Kaya, that's kind of mean. That's called teasing." And so you can't come show somebody something cool and then just like take it and walk away. That's teasing them. So that's mean. So how would you like it if I had a piece of cake and said, look what I got? And when you asked for some, I said no and walked away. Would that be mean? And without missing a beat, she goes, "I know where I learned that." And I go, "Oh yeah, where?" She goes, "Mama." And I said, "Well, how? Okay, what did Mama do that you learned that?" She goes, she shows me things, and then just when I ask for it, she says no and walks away and goes and hides it. And I started laughing because she just did it to me the other day. I was sitting at my computer, and she comes over. She just went grocery shopping or something, and she shows me all these like nummy chocolate treats she got. And she knows I just absolutely love chocolate. And I was busy, and instead of like giving me one or something, or putting them on the counter, she runs and goes hides them. And like, I don't know, when I was done with my work, hold on, I gotta merge here. This guy's doing weird stuff. And when I get done, 10 minutes later, I'm like, "Where's the chocolate?" She goes, "I hid it." I'm like, "Well, why didn't you give me one?" She's like, I don't know what she said, but it was just hilarious. I'm pretty big on, I'm not the kind of parent who just tells them to do or not to do things. I try my best to give a pretty thorough explanation so they learn. It's called teaching. This isn't just I'm your authority. I want to earn my authority via respect and telling them why so they understand it. They catch on a lot quicker when you explain stuff. Just this do as I say shit don't work very well. They might eventually do what you say, but then when you're not around, they ain't gonna do it. If you do the authoritative style with an iron fist and just do whatever I say, just trust me, let them know. No, you teach them. I think that's what helps with understanding God. It does take age. It takes experience. It's hard to do it. It's hard to trust in the beginning. You have no hindsight. You have no looking back like, oh man, this craziness was designed brilliantly. Like, I would have never came up with it. I learned this through that strife or whatever. And now I'm passing it on or not going to do it again or whatever the case is. But yeah, teaching through explanation. I remember before we had kids, we used to watch my wife's nephew a lot. And he would do this thing where he wouldn't eat his meal because he knew eventually he was going to get some kind of junk food or snack. And apparently the rest of his family just went along with it. We would make him sit at that table for like an hour. Like, you ain't getting nothing. That's going to be your food. We're not getting any snacks or anything. And the kid's parents was divorced, and I'm sure he'd go back and forth a lot, have different people watching him. And he would eventually get snacks. And then one day, when he was over, he asked me, "Why can't I have that kind of food?" Like, that's a very good question, Jeremy. Why can't you have Doritos and candy all the time? And I went into explaining, like, diabetes and, like, losing your leg. And I even went as far, because I think he was hitting 8 or something. So this might be borderline, but I explained what happens, the weight gain and the getting fat and getting unhealthy, and that even the organs a little bit, so we could understand. But then I got into the beatus, and I said, if your beatus gets bad, your legs fall off. And he's like, what? And I say, here. And I pulled up pictures of people with, diabetes, bad diabetes legs and amputations, and I showed it to him just to sear it right into his brain. And needless to say, he stopped eating the junk food for a while. And that's just my teaching style, I guess. So no, it's awesome. I like to teach. I like watching these kids just learn. Our kids are so curious, and they do listen very well, especially when they know the reasons why. Like, for instance, that whole baby proofing your house. Now, when they were a baby crawling around, there was a little bit of baby proofing, just like on accidental stuff like corners. But when it came to like outlets and stuff, even when they were really small, no, that I house proofed the baby. They knew what no meant, and stuff like that. And for instance, I got tools and knives. I have lots of knives, and these kids don't touch them. They're not even curious. I've let them touch them. I let them hold them, and I showed them that they're sharp. And I would stab something with them. Here's a knife. This is what it does. So you got to be. I made them learn to respect the tool. This is what it does. And I'd like stab a piece of cardboard. I'm like, that could go, and then I'd tap it on their skin. Like, that's big ouch. And I don't worry about them getting into that kind of stuff at all, because I've already taught them what it does and why not to do it. Now, if you just keep telling them don't touch the knives, they're just going to wait for when you're not looking and go grab some knife that's lying around, even if it's just a kitchen knife. So even with like the drill, a drill is cool to a little kid. And so I let them drill with me, but they know that sucker's got some torque, and it like drills stuff into wood. Like, they know what it does. So they're not going to go grab it when I'm not looking and wave it around and start like drilling stuff. It's not that hard. You just explain stuff to them. I think that's our job. I can't remember if my parents did a lot of explaining. Like I said, it's hard to tell. I was that free-range 80s kid. We learned with every scrape. But yeah, no, raising kids. I wasn't even on board with raising kids in the beginning. I mean, when my wife and I first kind of started talking and getting to know each other's expectations for the future, she's like, kids? And I'm like, someday. And then the world got crazier and crazier, and I was just like, why would you bring a kid into this world? Like, for real. And the amount of work and money they are, like, holy guacamole. And I did the whole thing where, like, not ready yet. And then everybody, the family, of course, pressured, where's the grandkids? Of course, everybody who pressured us for grandkids and wanted grandkids or us to have little ones, nobody helped with them, but whatever. Alright, we got kids now, you want to watch them? Hell no. And our kids are like golden. They're like super easy to watch and fun. I don't know why, even when we're not around, I don't know why anybody wouldn't want to watch them, but everybody's busy. Anyway, so we had the first one, had the second one, and now it's like, I might even mention this before, and I'll probably mention it again. They're just a candle in a dark room. Wherever these kids go, since they were born, everywhere they go. They light up everybody's face. It is just amazing. Even if they're giving you a rough morning, you're getting ready, they're screaming, whatever, trying to get to, say, go to the Y or something. When they walk through them door, even before, once they get out of the car and they pass someone, you look at all their faces, and all their faces all of a sudden snap from whatever little daydream they were in right into the moment, and they just smile and light up just by looking at these kids. It is utterly awesome. And and it's just like, holy cow. There's no words to explain that. I can't, and I've never been able to run around and put smiles on faces like that. Maybe I got a couple smiles when I was a kid, but these kids are just beaming. It is just cool. And I guess, if you want to fight the evil in the world, you bring something like that into the world. Quick update on the van cleaning. Got most of the cat smell out, but not all. It just didn't cut it. Still get a whiff of it when you open the door. Son of a. So what I did was went and grabbed a box of baking soda. I use baking soda for everything. Box of baking soda, and just sprinkled a little mound right under the seat there. Baking soda, stuff like baking soda and even charcoal. It just absorbs bad stuff. Like, yeah, about an hour after I did it, the smell was totally gone. Kids got in the car. I'm like, how's it smell in your car? It smells great. But let's jump into a little health thing since I said charcoal. So there was this, turn this off. So there was this thing. Sorry if you didn't hear that first part. If you didn't, cat smell didn't go away from the shampooing of the carpet. I dumped baking soda on it, and poof, it's gone. Charcoal works too for absorbing odors. It absorbs stuff. When people, let's say, drink too much booze or something like that, or overdose, or have radiation poisoning, they give them charcoal, activated charcoal, and it's just great for sucking out the toxins in the body. You got a cold or anything, first thing you do is go get charcoal. They have it in the health stores now, probably at Walmart too. Just activated charcoal pills. It'll suck that stuff right out of you, because that's all colds are, is just your toxins got to a limit, and now you're getting symptoms just to get it out. And charcoal helps it along. There's a million other hacks you can do. I'll get into those. But one of the things, when people were, how do I put this? So, I'm going to say pre-COVID jab. I already knew that it was a total hoax, total lie, or whatever. It's just obvious. But I did my due diligence. I talked to every single person who said they had COVID before the jabs came. And I talked to a lot of people. I'm always jibber-jabbering. And I'm pretty talented at breaking right through the first pleasantries and all the facade and everything, and just getting right into what's going on in your life. This is what's going on in mine. And they're like, yeah, I got COVID. And I was always like, okay, do you got COVID, or do you just have a positive test for COVID? And I didn't get into the PCR test with them. But just to see. And they're like, either, yeah, I got some symptoms. What are the symptoms that you got? And they're generally like, oh, I'm pretty much crapping my pants. And or I lost my sense of smell, or just, the deal. They had any symptom under the sun. And I'm like, okay. And then the ones that said that they got severely ill, and usually this is someone who knows someone, but after I'd investigate for 5 minutes, I'd always figure out there was some other secondary gain they were getting from it. They either relapsed or something, needed a vacation. It wasn't true to the whatever. But then, of course, after the jabs came into play, people were getting really sick after, like 2 weeks out of work sick, like after the jab, like really ill. And they would always have some other weird thing going on too, like my arm super hurts with this leg, something's going on. These are healthy people too, not just, people who just are retired and drinking or something. And they're like, what's going on? I'm like, you wouldn't believe me if I told you, but I can help you if you want. And what I would do was, I would basically give them a list of supplements and certain things to do, even that Epsom salt baking soda bath I talked about the other day. But I would activated charcoal is one of the things that I would tell them to do. And I was basically, and coenzyme Q10 to help your mitochondria in your cells. And this isn't gonna reverse all damage from that thing, but the initial what the fuck is happening to me kind of thing. So I treat them for radiation poisoning. Tell them to turn off their electronics or minimize them. All that stuff. Don't hold your phone to your heart kind of thing. And within 2 days, poof, gone. And then they'd stop doing what I told them to do a week later. And then it'd kind of come back, but at a lesser scale. Just craziness. Anyways. We're going to tile the floor today, so let's get back to the jobs, or get over to the job site here. Alright, this is just a tester for the mic in these headphones, so I'm probably going to be using them a lot, and I'm sure it's annoying if my voice is going in and out as I'm walking away from the camera. Alright, first thing, it's going to be a hot one today, so we're going to make sure we have some AC. Alright, let's check out this kitchen. So I'm pretty sure the well, everything's pretty dried out, so that's good. This thing's still running, which means it's not working very well, unless someone emptied it the other day. I am going to have to start downstairs, but then I gotta put this toilet back in, because I don't like working on a job site without a toilet. The other half is down in the garage. It's got all new innards. Gotta plop it on there. That needed a whole new flange. Just one of the little things you run into. I wish he would have painted this. This dude's been painting this house for weeks. But that toilet's going back in. He's just going to have to deal. Because it's kind of ridiculous. I'm sure he's just doing it on his off time. Let's check out the basement again. I mean, I don't even know what he painted. Painted some. Alright, oh, he put it all down here and everything, nice. That's the tiles that are going in. I'm gonna have to take that guy out. He wants me to leave this in. I gotta call him and just make sure. It's kind of ridiculous to tile this thing gonna leave a chunk. I mean, what if you want to change this later? It's kind of stupid. But first I'm gonna mop it up, get all the dust up, let it dry, prime it. I'll get that dehumidifier down here to help with drying it out so I can just get to it. While it's drying, I'll also put that toilet in upstairs so I have one. Let's go get set up. Alrighty then, got it swept up, mopped up, toilet out, primed. You just roll some all-purpose water membrane primer. The stuff I use today. Water does not like moisture. This is concrete in a basement. I ended up needing to use, I didn't have a tray. So what is it? I used I used to use a normal roller, and I grabbed the dustpan. Use it as a tray. It's got a little lip there and everything. Good to go. Didn't need to go to the store. So now we gotta let that dry. And now we don't have a toilet downstairs, I need to put the old toilet upstairs back in. I do not like not having a toilet. We have our cutting station set up out here. Grinder, spray bottle. When you're cutting ceramic tile, you're supposed to have a wet saw. So I just got a ceramic blade and I just spray the heck out of it as I'm cutting, and clamps to hold it down so I have more hands. We'll do that a little later. There it is. Alright, yeah, so that was the baseline of the tile template there. There was another guy working in there, a painter. His name's Jeff too. So I didn't get to do as much detail videography as I wanted. At least showing you how to get it straight and slab down the mud and space it and all that. What you're looking for, or even installing the upstairs toilet. Because, well, basically I wasted half the day talking with him anyways. It was just weird when you're filming with someone else in there, and it would have been mostly just me and him shooting the shit, and the shit got deep, yeah, because we're both followers. So there's a difference between being a believer and a follower. It's kind of like knowing versus doing. And I think, oh shit, my headphones are on here. I think. Oh, it's just a radio. Hold on a minute. My bad. Anyways, hope you heard that first part. But yeah, me and that guy talked for quite a while. You know, when there's two in one room, then there's God. And you know, when God starts getting the conversation, you just get going. And I love talking with like-minded people. If it's not a like-minded person, I'll either just quit the conversation or play with them a little bit, depending. And I listen too. I mean, half the stuff I say, I might change my mind. I change my mind a lot. But it's fun talking to a like-minded person. And I mean, you still got to feel them out. You can still say the wrong thing. And it's not like we just talk about Jesus the whole time, but we infuse it into what we're talking about. And I meet and talk with plenty of people who are not followers or believers even, but are very like-minded in many respects. You can always find common ground. I just think that's cool. So I set that baseline tile there. I'll let it sit overnight to get nice and hard, settled in, and then I can just set the rest of the tiles based off of that one. I don't got to worry about it moving on me when I'm kneeling on it or nothing. I have made in the tile up, the one upstairs, I didn't let it sit long enough, and it got nudged just a little bit, and there's a couple little flaws in there that I didn't like, and it's because of that. I just wanted to get her done and whatever, but you're really supposed to let it sit for a while so it's just rock hard. And so that's what I'm going to do with this one. I'm just, for some reason, not in a big rush right now, and it might be because it's 99 and 95% humid out right now, but I'll be busy enough before you know it. Going home to eat some lunch. I still got to work on posting these videos here too. I know you're supposed to have some kind of weird intro and stuff. I don't know if I'm going to spend the time on that right now. Logo and all that, but I'll probably just get the channel going. Maybe pop a couple up, do the logo later. But it should be fun. I hope you guys like these videos. I know they're all over the place. I'll get better at them. Just bear with me.